Today we're going to be talking about state compliance, why it matters, what that looks like, and resources to help you be compliant in homeschool. All right, come along. Hi, my name is Amanda from Learning to Love Well, and this is a channel about, homeschool, a biblical worldview. I have been homeschooling my kids since my eldest child was old enough to enter school, and even a little bit before then, because I may have jumped the gun and done a little bit of pre-K. And yeah, so we've been homeschooling for a total of 8 years, if you count the pre-K, probably more like 9-ish years. And we have 4 children that we homeschool, and they range from a teenager now, oh my goodness, a teenager, all the way down to one who is entering kindergarten, already started their kindergarten curriculum, but yes, technically, according to the public school way of doing it, they would be entering next August. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me, just in case you're new to the channel. So today we're going to talk about state compliance. First off, why does it matter? As a biblical Christian, someone who is seeking to conform to God's word, Romans 13, 1-2 talks about being subject to governing authorities, and it is also talked about in 1 Peter 2, 13-14. It is so important as Christians that as long as the government is not requiring something that glitches against what the Bible tells us to do as Christians, we really should be seeking to be compliant and be upstanding citizens, because that's what the Bible calls us to do, right? We're supposed to be salt and light, and we're supposed to show people the way that the Lord wants us to live, and that's no different in homeschool. I know it's easy when you are a homeschooler to either get caught in the weeds or to be maybe a little bit intimidated by state regulations, which is the reason we're going to talk about it and some of the resources. Or even sometimes, let's just be honest, we're, the administrators, the lunch ladies, the disciplinarians, we are the teachers, we are the tutors, we are all of these things to our children. And sometimes just getting all of the administration work takes a little extra time and a little extra energy, and without good systems in place, sometimes it's hard to keep up with. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So what are state regulations? So you're going to see a little video pop up on your screen, and I'm actually going to walk through what it looks like in North Carolina. HSLDA.org is a homeschool legal defense agency that has a ton of resources for you to know exactly what you have to do according to your state. And as you can see in the video, I am scrolling to North Carolina, and I am going to go and see what my teacher regulations are. So in our state, I have to hold a high school, at least a high school education, a high school diploma or GED equivalent. I have to keep an immunization record on hand, or an exemption if you're going to do that through your state. I have to have at least my children in school 9 months out of a year for regulatory homeschool with reasonable holiday exceptions. And I have to test every single year. I have to give my children a standardized test every single year. And at the bottom, they will actually tell you that it's recommended that I keep an attendance record and a shot record and a portfolio for my children, not just because of the fact that if I ever get audited, but also because of the fact that if I am going to send my kids to college, which if that's the way the Lord is guiding them instead of a technical school, and the Lord leads them to college, then I would like them to have a good standard portfolio for them to be able to show whenever they are entering into college, showing that they did actually do the work and they actually have the studies behind them that they need. So every state is going to be different. If I clicked on another state like Florida, their regulations could be very mild moderation or mild regulations. It could be a moderate state, or it could be more of a strict state when it comes to legal requirements. Now, again, each requirement is going to depend from state to state. There are states that really don't have very many requirements at all. Here in North Carolina, you have to do something different. I had to open up a homeschool with the Department of Education and say how many children are in my homeschool and the ages, and I have to upload and say, hey, I did standardize test them every single year. And that's how I stay compliant in my state. Now, what does this look like? Okay, so keeping compliance sounds daunting, but it really doesn't have to be. So if your state requires an attendance record, North Carolina actually has an attendance record that you can print out and use. I've actually done that for the last couple years, and I go ahead and block out the weekends, and I just let, we fill in the blocks, and that's it. I also have a place where the immunization records would be kept, and I also keep a portfolio of things that they do. Now, my kids' grades are all in their books. Now, I don't get rid of my children's books. I keep them. So if anyone ever tried to audit or anything else, I would have all the evidence that someone could possibly want that my kids have been homeschooling and what they've been doing and the subjects that we've gone through. Special art projects and stuff is kept in their attendance record, and certain projects like their getting to know me sheets are at the beginning. This really doesn't take as long as you would think. I tend to reset this book once a year, once before the new school year starts. And even though we do a year-round homeschool, I like to go ahead and refresh in August, like as if we had attended a normal school year, just to give it kind of a new year setting. But other than that, yes, it is super easy to stay compliant. It does feel daunting. Absolutely, especially if you are new to homeschool. Even the idea of having to register with the state a new homeschool, or maybe even sending a letter to your public school, it can seem daunting. And I would lie to you if I told you that the first time I had to start this compliance thing that I didn't freak out. I totally freaked out, and I was worried I was going to do it all wrong, or I wasn't going to keep it well enough, and I had just overthought it so much. But as a mom who has been doing this for 8 years, it is really not as hard as I made it out to be. It is something that takes very minimal effort. You can sit all of your kids down, give them their attendance records, and say, all right, today is June 20th, mark here, and just check it off. All of the important documents in one spot. Lord willing, you'll never need it. And in a lot of states, they don't heavily audit, so you might not need it. But there is a beautiful thing about having your I's dotted and your T's crossed and doing things the right way. Integrity is safety, and keeping up with the way that we're supposed to do it is definitely beneficial. Now, if you do not know what your state regulations are and you don't know how to keep it, HSLDA is a wonderful website that will walk you through all of it. And I will put the link in the description below so that you can just click it and go straight and pop on your state and know exactly what is required of you. And they even give you tips and tricks on how to implement that. So I hope this is beneficial. I hope this has helped someone, whether you're new to homeschool, a veteran, or just moved to another state. I hope that this finds you well and that it is encouraging for you. Well, I'm going to go and enjoy time with my kids. Thank you for joining me in my kids' room today because there's less noise on this side of the house. And so, yep. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless and have a great night.